Okay, this is a half an hour advanced flow. We're going to get right into it. So just come to sit on your heels, close down your eyes and just take a few breaths. Just grounding ourselves, arriving on the mat. And then take a big inhale and scrunch your shoulders up towards the ears, and as you exhale, let them drop down. And do that a few times. So inhaling to scrunch them up, exhale, let them drop. Inhale to scrunch them up towards the ears, exhale, let them drop. And now take your left hand behind you, sweep the right arm up and over as you push your hips forward, opening through the front body. And then sweep that right arm down in front of you, making a little semicircle. Take the left arm with you, plant the right hand behind you, left arm sweeps up and over, push the hips forward. And we'll do that a few times on either side. So coming over to the left, push the hips forward, and then draw that semicircle in front of you, and go over to the right. And then let's come into a tabletop. And then just begin to take some hip circles. We're trying to warm up through the wrists here, so just taking a few circles in one direction and then change direction. And then pick up the hands and place them so that the fingers are pointing towards you, and then sit back, stretching out through the fronts of the wrists. And release. Now bring the backs of the hands to the mat, fingers still facing forward, and then sit back any amount. This can feel really intense, so only sit the hips back if it feels like a stretch and not like a pain. And release. And then let's take a few cat-cows. Inhaling to drop the belly, tailbone and head lifts. Exhaling to round into cat. Inhale through cow. Exhale cat. Inhale cow pose. Exhale cat pose. And then coming to neutral and coming up into our downward facing dog. And you're welcome to either pedal the feet out, or you can stay in stillness. And take your time here. This is going to be quite a dynamic flow, so if at any point you need to take a rest and take child's pose, please do so. Let's step up to the front of the mat and come into our forward fold, taking opposite elbows with opposite hand, and then pedaling out through the legs again. And get really long in the spine. And then inhale to sweep the arms up, coming into your standing pose, mountain pose at the front of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to take some sun salutations. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. And then coming all the way up onto the toes, bend into the knees, look to the front of the mat and step or hop or float to the front. Inhaling as you get there, exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, tall mountain, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, hop or step back to plank. Chaturanga. And inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Taking our breaths here. Inhale. inhale up onto the toes, bend into the knees, get low, look to the front, and step or hop to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Now we're going to come into a sun salutation B. So inhaling to your chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, step the right foot to the front. Take the arms up, warrior one. Exhale, plant the hands down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, step the left foot to the front, ground the right heel down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a few breaths here, really ground into the knuckles and the finger pads. Nice flat back. Inhale, come up onto the toes. Exhale, step to the front or hop. Inhale, up halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up into chair. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, step the right foot to the front, warrior one. And this time, as you exhale, opportunity to come into a chin stand, if that's in your practice. Otherwise, just take a normal chaturanga. And then inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, step the left foot to the front, ground down with the right heel, taking our warrior one. And then second opportunity for a chin stand. I don't think I make this one. Whoop. There you go. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Catch your breath. And then inhale, sweep the right leg up. And then bend into the knee as you open through that hip. And let's take some hip circles. So drawing big circles with your knee. Getting into the hip joint. Trying to keep the shoulders square. And then with control, we'll flip the dog into wild thing. So stepping that right foot down. Opening through the front body, finding a back bend. Left leg remains straight. And then plant the right hand down, coming into three-legged dog. Exhale, bring right knee towards left elbow. And then straighten through the right leg. Come onto the inside of the left foot, fallen triangle. Bring that left hand back down. Sweep the right leg back up, three-legged dog. And then exhale. Bring the right foot in between the hands. And then sending the right arm up, coming into our easy twist. And then we're going to come into a little hip dip. So take your right toes and point them towards the right side of the mat. Come onto the inside edge of the left foot and then sink the hips down. And then as you inhale, lift the hips, sweep the arm up and over. Exhale, dip the hips down. Inhale, sweep that right arm up and over. Exhale, dip the hip. Inhale again, lift the hips, sweep the right arm up and over. Exhale, dip the hips down. And then we're going to make this little rotation and come into a Skandasana on the right side. So right side lunge. And then open the arms up. And you can either stay here or you can come in for a bind, clasping the hands around that bent right leg. Opening the shoulders. And then bringing the hands to heart center again. Stay nice and low and see if you can transition into Skandasana on the left. And then stay nice and low, Skandasana on the right. And then coming up to our twisting lunge. So that's quite a tricky transition. So we're coming through a crescent lunge and then taking the twist. Once you get there, you can open the arms out, maybe come in for a bind if that's in your practice. Otherwise, you're keeping the hands at heart center. Unwind, plant the hands, take your vinyasa, exhaling to chaturanga, inhale up dog, exhale downward facing dog. We'll move on to the other side. Inhale, sweep the left leg up and over, and then open the hip, bend into the knee. Try and keep the shoulders square. And then let's draw those big circles with that left knee. Opening up through the hip. And then slowly, slowly, with control, we're going to flip the dog, come into our wild thing. Opening out through the front body, sweeping that arm up and over. And then with control, coming back to our three-legged dog. Inhale, exhale, left knee, right elbow, and then straighten through the left leg. Come onto the inside edge of that right foot and sweep the right arm up, fallen triangle. And then plant that right hand down. See if you can sweep that leg back up to three-legged dog. And then exhale, bring the left foot in between the hands. Sweep that right arm up, coming into our easy twist. And then coming into that hip dip again. So we're going to send the left toes so that they point the left side of the mat. Come onto the outside edge of our right foot and then sink the hips down. Inhale, sweep the arm up as you lift the hips. Exhale, dip the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Exhale to dip those hips down. And then we're going to take that rotation all the way into our side lunge on the left side. So Skandasana on the left. You're welcome to keep your hands at heart center. You can open the arms out. And an option for a bind here, getting into the shoulders. And then we're going to bring the hands back to heart center. See if you can stay nice and low as you transition into our side lunge on the right. And back to side lunge on the left. And then we're going to rotate, so coming through crescent lunge and then setting the right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Twisting lunge. You can keep your hands at heart center or you can open the arms out. And then another opportunity to come into a bind. Stay nice and grounded in the feet, nice and strong in the legs. And don't forget to breathe. And then coming back to low lunge, stepping the foot back, plank, exhale, chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. I'm going to do the same sequence but add a few bits on. But before we do that, we're coming into dolphin pose. So set the elbows down, walk the feet in towards you, and really push into the shoulders. So the head is not touching the mat. We're trying to keep the head lifted as we push into the shoulders, finding this mobility and strength. And then come back up, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg up, bend into the knee. And we're going to, with control, flip the dog. So we're coming into wild thing. And for those of you that want to stay in wild thing, stay there. Otherwise, if you want to try and transition into wheel pose, takes a little practice to figure out where your hands need to be facing, but you've got another opportunity to do it on the other side. So take wheel pose, and then with control, coming back to our three-legged dog. Good. And then exhale, taking right knee to left elbow. And this time we'll come into a modified side plank. So instead of having that foot down, we keep it hovering. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot in between the hands. Taking our easy twist, sweeping that right arm up. And then coming into our hip dip again. So sending the right toes so they point to the right side of the mat. Coming onto the outside of the left foot. Dip the hips down and then sweep the arm up. We'll do that a few times. So inhaling to lift the hips, exhaling to dip. Inhale to lift and sweep the arm up. Exhale to sweep the arm back. And then with control, we'll come into our side plank on the left side. And then you can either stay in traditional side plank or maybe take the tree variation. And then from here, we're going to, as slowly as you possibly can, step that right foot back up to the front of the mat. So we're in a low lunge again. Slowly, yeah, good. And then coming into our Skandasana on the right, hands at heart center. And then take the arms, spread them wide or take a bind. And then staying low, bring the hands back to heart center, transition to Skandasana on the left. Then Skandasana back to the right. And then spinning all the way around to our twisting high lunge, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee and then opening the arms out if you want. And then we're going to maybe come into a little arm balance, maybe bringing that right hip down onto the right elbow and keeping the right knee on the left elbow, leaning forward. So you're making a little shelf with your arms. Maybe you take flight, maybe you don't. And then we'll come back and come into a high crescent lunge. And then step forward, bringing that left foot and hugging it in towards your chest and making some circles with the left ankle, balancing on our right foot. And then bringing the left ankle on top of the right knee, coming into our standing figure four. Sink down into our imaginary chair, bringing the hands to heart center. Get nice and low. And then you can bring your elbows onto the shins to get deeper into this pose. And then a little bit of practice here, we can come into our Ekapada Galanvasana, or this little funky arm balance, bringing our left shin to the backs of the arms, trying to really wrap that left foot around our arm. Maybe you take flight. Look more forward than you think you want to get the balance here. And then maybe you jump back to Chaturanga, or you can step back to Chaturanga and take your vinyasa. We'll have another opportunity to do that on the other side. Take a few bounces in your down dog. That can feel nice, getting into the shoulders. And sweep the left leg up, bend into the knee, open the hip. And we'll slowly transition into our wild thing. Sweeping that left arm up and over. And you stay here, or if you want to transition into a wheel by flipping all the way over. And taking a few breaths in this deep back bend. And then slowly with control coming back to our three-legged dog with the left leg lifted. And then exhale, bring the left foot to the right elbow. Come onto the inside of that right foot. And you can either come into the fallen triangle again or keep that left foot lifted, coming into this funky side plank. Inhale, sweep the left leg back up. Exhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Take our easy twist, taking that left arm up. And then we'll come into our hip dip. So coming onto the outside edge of the back foot. and sinking the hips down, and then a few times breath to movement, inhaling to sweep up, exhaling to dip the hips down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, and then slowly step to our side plank on the right side. You can stay in traditional side plank or maybe come into a tree pose with the legs. Stay nice and strong here. And then again, we're going to be stepping that left foot to the front of the mat again, really with control, as if you're moving through something that's thicker than air. Ooh, yeah. Good. And then coming into our Skandasana on the left side. Opening up through the arms. Taking the bind if you want to. And then bringing the hands back to heart center. Stay nice and low. Transition to Skandasana on the right side. Back to the left side. And then you're going to spin all the way to our twisting high lunge. Bringing that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And then open the arms out. And then another opportunity to come into a little arm balance here. So placing the hands down. Making a shelf with your chaturanga arms, and then leaning forward. See if you can pick the feet up off the ground. It's kind of a Ekapada Kundiniyasana type shape. And then setting back down, come into your high crescent lunge, and then grounding into the left foot. Step the right foot up, hug the knee into the chest, and just take some ankle circles. Few times in each direction. And then let's bring that right ankle on top of the left knee, sink down, keep flexing into that right foot. And then you can bring your elbows onto the shins for a deeper stretch, or we'll try that Ekapada Ganavasana again. Plant the hands down. Taking the shin to the backs of the arms, really kind of flex into that right foot. And then maybe you take flight. It really helps to look forward instead of in front of you. You can jump back chaturanga or take a step back to chaturanga and take your flow. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. And then we'll set the elbows down. You can either do it one at a time or both at the same time. We'll take our dolphin pose. If you have the energy and fancy floating up into a forearm stand, you can do that. I'm just going to hang out in dolphin pose, pushing into the shoulders. And then coming down to sit on the heels. And then just taking the feet out in front. And we'll take a half lotus, so bringing the right foot towards the left hip. Sweep that right arm behind you. See if you can grab hold of those right toes and then fold forward. If none of this feels good, then you can just take regular Janu Shirsasana. Bringing that right foot just to the inside of the left thigh, rather than taking this full bind in our half lotus. Wherever you are, just take a few breaths in this forward fold, and then slowly come up. And then take your left hand on top of the right knee, right hand behind you, and just twist open towards the right side. And unwind. And then begin to just cradle this right leg in towards your chest. You can either use like a forklift kind of motion with the arms, or you can hug the arms, bringing that right foot to the crook of the left elbow, and then just hugging. If bringing the foot behind the head is in your practice, you can kind of play around with that. I'm sort of trying to do that here, but it's a work in progress. That's why we call it yoga practice and not yoga perfect. Okay, let that leg come back down. And we'll take it to the other side. So taking either the left foot to the inside of the right thigh or coming into your half lotus and coming in for the bind, taking your left arm behind you and grabbing hold of the left toes. Find length in the spine before you come down into this forward fold. And taking some nice breaths here. Coming back up. Let's take that right hand on top of the left knee, left hand behind you, and just twist over to the left. Twisting and breathing into the belly. Unwind. And then again, just hugging that left shin in towards your chest. You'll cradle the baby. You can bring the arms to hug the shin in. And then again, you can practice bringing that foot behind the head. Find some openness in the hip. And then release. And come all the way to lie down on your back. Bringing the heels close into the sit bones. And you can either take bridge or I'm going to take wheel here. So flip the hands up beside your ears. Push into the hands. Coming up into your wheel pose. And then any playtime you want here, you can straighten through the legs. I think I was trying to do some sort of alien pose, but as you can tell, not very successfully. Always welcome to just take bridge as well. Slowly come down. Taking the feet to mat width and just letting the knees knock together. And then windshield wipering the legs from left to right. Bringing the arms to either a T or goalpost. Next time the legs come down to the right, just set them there. And look to the left. Supine twist to close out the practice. And then bringing the legs through center, taking the knees over to the other side as you look to the right. And then just come to hug the knees into the chest, curl up, squeeze, and then come into Shavasana. Sending the legs out long, letting the feet fall open, arms down by the sides, palms face up, close down the eyes. And really take this final resting pose. Release the breath. And stay here for as long as you need to, for as long as you have time for. I hope you've enjoyed this 30 minutes advanced flow. Please let me know if there's anything you want me to post, any particular videos or postures or whatever, and I'll be posting some more videos soon. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.